First things first, I'm going to put my gum around this molded base, and I'll give it some time to dry. Now go ahead and put my lining inside. Could use any material just to cover the inside first. I'm just using the pegs to make it stay. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the pegs one after the other while cutting off the excesses. Now I'm putting my gum around it again the second time. I'll allow it to dry. Then I'll go ahead and cover the top of the molded cap base using the same process as before. Just trying to smoothen the edges to give it a nice finishing. I'll allow it to dry, then I'll go ahead again and cut off the excesses while taking off the pegs. Now I'm taking the pegs off. My material has finally stuck very firmly to the base cap. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and put another set of gum round the base, because this material you're seeing is not going to be the final material. I still want to cover it with a different kind of material. So kindly watch what I'm doing. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat the same process the third time. See this last one. See this last one when I cook and I don't enjoy that one. I'm putting my gum another time round this molded base again. This time around, I want to cover the inside with my trimmings, like so, just to make inside look neat. You don't want the inside looking rough and untidy. So those trimmings will just make the inside look very beautiful. So just follow the same process like before. Using my scissors to cut off the remaining trimming at exactly the point where it ended. So I took my pegs off, and here it is. My base is ready. So right now I'm going to go ahead to prepare the cover, the bony, for this particular design we are about to make. So I'm going to go ahead and put a gum at the tip of the bony, just to make the beginning firm, like so. By the way, this particular clip you're watching is from another video. I'm just about showing you how to cover a bony. Same process. Anytime you want to cover a bony, I'm using a bias here. When you go to market, tell them you want to buy bias, put your gum a little bit in the beginning of the bony and just start covering it like so. So I had to fast forward that, and this is where I'm almost done. Remember, at the beginning you put a gum. Now at the end part you're still going to put a gum, to make it firm. You don't want it loosening up. So the beginning and the end of the bony, you put a gum before going around with your bias. So just put as much gum as you need to, because you want the both ends to be very firm. Once the both ends are firm, the middle cannot loosen. But if you don't make the ending to be very firm, it can start loosening up from there. So put as much gum as possible, give it some seconds to dry off, and it will be strong. So this is it. Our bony is ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and start coiling them to form the rounded design shape I wanted to have. It might be hard to explain, so just watch what I'm doing. I'm just using my finger to adjust the size. If you notice it's too big, just use your hand to adjust it. If it's too small, use your hand to pull it up. Just adjust it to the particular size you want it to be. So after getting the size, I'm going to go ahead to still use that, bias I used in rounding the bony. I'll just use it to tie it round, to secure it round like so. Once you get the proper shape you want, and once you get to the edge, you use your gum again, put at the ending and secure it. So I'm using my needle and thread to tack it on the fascinator mold, the covered base. The mold we have, the base we had already molded and covered. So I'm just tacking it on it. I'm going to tack it like so on both sides. So just tack it to be as firm as possible. You'll need that place to be very strong and firm. When it's firm enough, go ahead and cut it and tie it again as many times as possible. So I'm going to do the same thing at the opposite side. I'm going to tack it at the opposite side. So I've done that. Now I'm going to use these berries to decorate it. This thing is called berries. The same thing, I just placed it in the middle and I'm tacking it just like so. Just put your needle very close to it, not on it, but very close to it, just to tie it with the thread. Don't bother about the inside. We're going to cover up the inside. Just make it as firm as possible. So you don't want it dancing around. You want it to be as strong and as firm as possible. All right, so I'm introducing this rose. I got this rose for I think about 300 era. It's a beautiful rose. I'm just going to be placing it on it. You know, you can use any kind of rose you have in the market. You can use anything. You could use a rose. You could even make a rose yourself. I'm probably going to make a tutorial on how to, customize roses, handmade roses. But what I did basically was to tack it down. Now I'm going to use my pears. I'm putting a gum on each of them to place on certain parts of the fascinators just to make it more, beautiful. So if you notice, after putting the gum on the pears, I actually gave it some like a minute to get dried up a little bit before placing it on the cap. Now when you place it on the cap, use your hand and press it down for some seconds to make it stay. So I'm just decorating the cap, nothing deep. You can choose to, omit this process, or you can choose to add more decorations. It's your design. It's just be creative. Add as many things as you want or as less as you want. So let's go ahead and fix the handle. This Alice bind is usually too long, so I like to cut it off a little bit, to reduce the length. Then I would go ahead and fix it like so. Make sure you fix it under the trimmings, not on top, under. In other words, the trimming should be covering it. Make it as firm as possible. When fixing the hand, just make sure your thread is not coming outside. Find a way to hide it. Don't make it obvious outside your cap. Go ahead and do the same process at the opposite edge of the cap. The same process. So that is it. I have fixed my handle. So what I'm just going to do is to cover the, you can decide to leave it that way, but I like to just tidy it up. I use my trimmings to cover it. I just apply my gum to the trimming and place it on. There's another way of decorating it at the same time covering up the messy parts. So this is it. Our fascinator is 100% ready for use. If you got any value watching this video, do consider subscribing to my channel, leaving a comment and liking this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.